Now, I also want to make one more comment about Peter brought up the issue of intuition and feeling. And, you know, maybe we don't even need this schedule, right? We just trust our intuition. Well, a lot of the research shows that you need both. And the reason that the schedule is important is because, like it or not, you know, we just don't function well as human beings to be intuitive every moment of the day. Like, we need to go into autopilot sometimes. That's when often we get into that zone, that flow state where we're getting a lot of work done. And the problem is that when we get into that flow state, we stay there too long. We you know, it's like we don't want to adjust because we're really enjoying it. I'm getting so much done. And then we just start going down the task list, boom, 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 and all of a sudden it's 9 p.m. and you know your partner is going to, you know, be ready to kick your butt when you get home. You know, because, or you didn't get to, you know, you didn't get to read your daughter a story before she goes to bed, or you didn't get a chance to go out to dinner with friends, or go out and meet people so you could have a partner. You know, I mean, you end up, you know, so, you know, that's what we do. That's what we do. And it's not intentional. You wouldn't say, you know what, I want to spend my whole life in the office, but we get into that mode, and it has its rewards. We're in autopilot. We're functioning well. We feel that. We're highly functional. And the advantage of this is that it's a way to say, hey, you know, sure, you can go into autopilot. Like, I don't need to schedule my schedule every half hour on every half hour block throughout the whole day. Because that's what we do, because we don't ever want to have that, we don't want to go out of autopilot. We don't want to be 4 o'clock and go, you know, I don't have anything scheduled till 4:30 or 5. Gosh, what am I going to do? You know, part of us unconsciously does not ever want to be idle or ever be bored, because then we feel like we're not useful. Then we feel like we don't have value. It's very subconscious. By doing this, it's like it's a way that you can stay in autopilot, and you just stop every once in a while and go, okay, I've got 45 minutes here. Let me go to the extra list and get some of that done, and then come back. So it's kind of a hybrid of sorts. Okay, these next two are really be very quick, and they're kind of you know, obvious ones. Like, allocate time to all your priorities, not just work. We're going to talk about that a lot more in the work-life balance session. I will share one of my favorite examples, though, of this, and this is something I do, and you're either going to think that this is completely ridiculous, or you'll start doing it too. Okay, have you ever thought about this mechanism in your life called an alarm clock? Okay, without questioning it, I bet each of you have an alarm clock that you are willing to set to tell you it's time to stop doing something for yourself, which is sleep, and start doing something for others, which is get out of bed and go to work. All right, do any of you have an alarm clock which tells you it's time to stop doing something for others and start doing something for yourself? I do. It's very easy on my cell phone. It even allows me to set it from Monday through Friday. It goes off at 6 p.m. every day, and it says it's time to stop doing something for others and start doing something for yourself. And I don't always leave at 6. I have another setting at 6:30. You know? But at least it helps me to become more conscious. There are times, I mean, and I want to say this about balance. You know, balance does not mean you do what you want to do every single hour of every single day. You know, Denzel said it really well in The Great Debaters. You know, we do what we have to do so we can do what we want to do. You know, there are times where you get into crunch mode. You know, was I happy to be at the office until, you know, 9:30? Syra and I were there till by 8 or 9 most every night last week. It's like that before one of these programs. You know, but yet, here's the important thing, and we'll talk about this more this afternoon. When I'm at the end of my life looking back, am I going to regret that I spent that week at the office till 8 or 9? I don't think so. I was doing it for this cause. Right? If I do that if I look back and I go, when I was 40, I spent, you know, instead of paying attention to my girlfriend or spending time with my friends, I was at the office every night till 9. Will I regret that? Absolutely. As you'll see this afternoon, that would mean that I'm off balance. But we have these acute, if it's chronic, we become very off balance. But we do have these acute times, as long as they're very limited, where, you know, we do have to put in more time. You know, that doesn't mean that you're off balance as long as you agree with it. Basically, as long as your vision for for your life. As long as your holistic vision for how you want to live is aligned with how you're living, you're at balance. So if you think like, you know what, it's okay, I'm working a little late this week, but it's not going to be like this every week, then really there's no problem with it. But if the problem is when you say, I'm looking at I'm out of the trees, I'm looking at the whole forest, I don't like my life. I don't like the way I'm living. I shouldn't be working this much all the time. That's when you are off balance.